So after getting beat what feels like 100 times playing last night with randoms, I came up with the idea for this video. Now, I'm lucky enough to have the option to play with my clan. You were going to learn today, most of the time. If you've heard some of our gameplays on this channel, there's a lot of communication going on, and coordination is usually very good. But what if you don't have an opportunity to play with the group? How does that affect your gameplay, and what steps do you take? That's kind of what we're going to talk about here today. It's not going to be the most in-depth video. I'm not actually including this in the PvP guide I'm making. It's just a couple of thoughts after having some gameplay from last night. Now, there's no precise formula to figuring out how to successfully play with people you cannot communicate with, but I have a few guidelines that may help those solo guardians out there. Tip number 1. Assume that you are playing with the absolute worst Destiny players in the entire world. Assume that you cannot rely on them whatsoever. Now, they may prove this wrong, but until you get a sense of their gameplay, assume that a baby is holding the controller on the other end of that Xbox. I've been so guilty from this time after time. You know, a lot of my gameplay is in your face, and it works because I usually have good teammates to clean up whatever I miss. But with no communication and no coordination, it becomes much harder to clean up multiple enemies on your own, and those triple downs you're so used to become fewer and further in between. You're like, okay, I hear you, but what does that actually mean? What it means is that you have to rely on your brain just as much as those legendary aiming skills. Your radar and audio cues are going to be even more of a priority, and positioning yourself correctly will be the difference between life and death. You need to know what spawns are currently capped, or flags in this case, where your team is primarily on the map, and where the enemy is most likely to spawn, etc. Again, these are important whether you play with a team or not, but team communication can make up for a lot of missteps that you can't afford to have when you're playing solo. Tip number 2 brings up a feature that I feel is so underused. You can literally see your enemy's loadout before the fight even starts. Before I even step foot on the map, I know what to expect, and while the gun type doesn't tell the whole story, you at least know what kind of engagement you're going to run into. If I see a team of snipers, I know to check my corners a little bit more cautiously. By the way, a quick way to do this, I'm not sure, some of you may already know, but if you dance right as you get to the edge, it puts you in third person mode and you can scan your surroundings without putting yourself in danger. Tip number 3, and this is going to be the last one I cover. Again, this is a quick guide because I was getting frustrated last night and I figured I'd put this out there for everybody because I'm sure you've been in the same boat as me. Just because you're playing solo doesn't mean you have to play solo. There's a difference there. A great way to use your radar against your enemies is to stay nearby one of your teammates. The radar cannot differentiate the number of guardians, just the direction they're coming from. This is a great way to keep them off guard. Also, hitting two targets is made even harder by the aim assist in the game, and you can use this to your advantage. Make your enemy choose who he wants to deal with, and it's likely that he won't be able to get either one of you in the process. So again, these are just some quick thoughts. I'm working on my, I'm going to do the Warlock video, I decided. Working on my Warlock video, and I'll have that out fairly soon. So I wanted something to kind of go in between there. And again, this is something that's been kind of sitting on my mind, so I figured I'd put it out. Again, thank you so much for the 100 subscribers, or hitting the 100 subscribers mark. I'm super excited. I'm sorry I haven't been able to say thank you earlier. I really appreciate it. And hopefully you guys are enjoying the videos, and I'll continue to put them out there. All right, thank you guys. Have a good one.